conserve your energy. As you see Palmer right there now trying to grab a few breaths of fresh air.
Carlton Palmer, he is a strong player. They call him robust because he will go through anything he has to get to the ball.
Throw in for the United States. Perez is fouled, and so it will be a free kick for the United States. Over 20 minutes gone now here in the first half. 0-0 the score. As the United States starts on their way up the field. This is Caligiuri. The middle to Quinn, and he tries to chip a ball ahead for Henderson, and that was knocked away by Nielsen, who gets the ball ahead, and on the run, here they come once again. This is David Hurst. Top of the box, a quick fire. They try to get it to Sheridan there, and it was knocked away. So Sheffield Wednesday had another opportunity. They send a ball in on goal. Miola will go up and pull that one down, and then quickly get it out. There's BORA MILUTINOVIC, watch right now, trying to see if his team can get something going on the offensive end. John Kowalski, his assistant coach, sitting beside him. The ball is taken away at midfield. Back it comes now to Sheffield Wednesday's end.
BORA is certainly happy with the play of Tony Miola so far, and that was a good save for him to make because that man who was hanging behind him on the back post wasn't going to try to shoot a goal, but lay it softly back into the middle of the field so the shot could be taken.
Brian Quinn knocks the ball away for the United States, and back they come on the run. This is Chet Eck. Eck through the middle of the field. Eck now bringing the ball, now tries to slip it through. Try to get it to Gutierrez, and the ball was stolen away. And here comes Sheffield Wednesday back towards midfield. And back comes the United States, and they steal away. So the United States and Sheffield Wednesday at 0-0 right now here in the first half. And Caligiuri takes control of the ball from Quinn and now gives it back to him. Desmond Armstrong. Now we saw them do this particular strategy a number of times in the first half against AC Milan, and that's what it led to a number of times, working the ball in the back and trying to make a good run up through the front. But that pass was just a little bit too quick, and we'll be back in Philadelphia as the World Series of Soccer continues after this.
What some people won't do for the most refreshing taste on earth. Always keep plenty of Coca-Cola Classic on ice. You never know who'll drop in.
The first half, 0-0 the score. And Bruce Murray with the ball for the United States. Back plays it into his own end. United States battling hard for the ball. They say play on. And it's deflected out by the United States. Balboa played it out in the American end. Paul Williams breathing hard, and all players breathing hard on a humid night here at Veterans Stadium. Here's Hugo Perez trying to sidestep his way up the field, and the ball went out off of John Harkes. Kearney, New Jersey. Stay tuned at halftime. We're standby. Visit Kearney, New Jersey, and visit the Kearney, New Jersey connection to the United States national program. Harkes, Miola, and Ramos. Boy, that really is a story, Matt, with 3 kids from that town and from that area making it to the World Cup team.
There's a great soccer tradition in that area, in all of northern Jersey. I mean, they just had a Cosmos reunion up there, and there was very little advertising. They got 30,000 people to that game. Ricky Davis was playing in the game.
Ricky, you played in that game. That was quite a night. Very nostalgic.
Oh, very nostalgic. A lot of fun, not only in terms of being able to see all of the old players, see what kind of shape they've kept themselves in, but also to get to see a lot of the fans that were so important to the success of the franchise.
Here's Perez and Palmer battling for the ball, and the whistle goes against Hugo Perez. And so they quickly set the play back in. Sheffield Wednesday on the break once again. Desmond Armstrong marking on his man. Ball is played back towards midfield, and they'll collect back near the midfield stripe.
I got a chance to see Ricky there at the Cosmos game, and it was fun because I got to see some of the guys I played with and against, even though I couldn't get on the field. Joe Mosono and Dave Clement's teammates, and then all of the Cosmos, those great teams, all those great internationals, and Ricky having the pleasure to play with all those super players.
Dangerous situation and a fine play by the United States on that back line as Balboa stayed with the ball. He was down on the turf, but was able to get it out of really harm's way as he knocked the ball away. Taking the ball, Williams crosses out in front, looking, and the ball will go out and belong to the United States on a goal kick. There's John Harkes wearing the captain's armband today. Very nice Honor for Harkes to come back to the United States wearing his Sheffield Wednesday colors and added to the colors that captain's armband. Watch the play by Balboa right here, Matt.
Balboa's on the ground, but he's still going for the ball, and as long as he doesn't put himself in a dangerous situation, he won't be called for the foul being down there, and of course he did get the ball.
Caligiuri sends a long ball down, headed in the direction of Henderson and Eck, but it was just again too long. So offensively, and I'll ask both Matt and Ricky Davis, what do you think of first Matt, the United States, and what are they doing offensively?
Well, they're moving around at midfield, knocking the ball around side to side, waiting for that opening, and still trying to send the man on a run. The ball is running away from them. Sheffield seems to be a little bit more tentative in their attack while they get used to the turf.
Ricky, let's go down to you right now, and what do you see as the United States strategy of trying to work into the offensive end of the field?
Well, Jim, a lot of what they're trying to do, as Matt said, is to work the ball around looking for the opening. The problem, once again, as Matt had alluded to, is that final pass, the last pass in the offensive third of the field, isn't connecting. It's either running away or it's being picked off, and as a result, that can be a little bit frustrating. From a coach's perspective, you want to go ahead and make sure that changes, because it's really not about creating opportunities and getting the ball through the midfield. It's about creating opportunities in front of the goal, and of late, the United States hasn't had much luck in that regard.
Let's see right here. Henderson with a move up that near side, and a good knockaway by Nigel Pearson. Then Harkes knocks the ball out through midfield. Hurst battling for it for Sheffield Wednesday. Got it away from Quinn onto the foot of Carlton Palmer, who chases it down, and Nigel Worthington takes it on that far side for Sheffield Wednesday. And they come back up the field now. This is Pearson. Through the middle. Ball is deflected. Here's a hard shot, and it goes wide of Miola. Goal kick coming up for the United States. And we'll be back. 0-0 here on the first play. 0-0 the score. United States and Sheffield Wednesday. Foul called on the United States quickly. There's Paul Williams playing the ball to Carlton Palmer. He crosses. Look out in front. And it was headed out of there by the United States in a good play. That was Caligiuri who got it out of there, or it was real trouble. Nielsen sends the ball into the box. Armstrong got a forehead on that. The quick tee up and the shot goes wide. Goal kick for the United States as Miola comes out to yell to his defenders. A look at some of the footwear, and we go down to the sideline, and Ricky Davis right now playing on the artificial surface. Ricky, do you notice what they're wearing tonight?
Yeah, very much. They're all wearing almost unilaterally the same type of shoe, and that is a flat, a shoe that symbolizes or looks a lot like a tennis shoe on the bottom. A couple of the players, in particular the players from Sheffield Wednesday, are using a cleated shoe, and that at the end of the day is going to end up hurting the feet.
There you see a Sheffield Wednesday player. As a matter of fact, that was John Harkes right there. It's Armstrong now for the United States. Play back on the Sheffield Wednesday end, but Harkes with a run. Caligiuri chasing it. Harkes gives the ball off. It went to Williams, back to Harkes, and it's stolen by the United States. A good play. That was Gutierrez with the steal, making his first national team start here tonight. Perez crosses to the far side of the field, and the United States gives it to Murray. We have not seen much of here in the first half. Quinn to Eck to Murray, back to Quinn. Now here's Gutierrez being chased by Palmer, and Perez tried to just one-time one right over there on a slip pass into Eck, and they almost had some room.
What a nice sequence of passes that was. Hugo Perez started it all off with that long cross across the field to change the direction of the field, maybe catch Sheffield in a zone shift, and then you saw the sequence of one-touch passes that led almost to a shot.
Ball delivered down the field by Nigel Pearson as he tried to get it to Paul Williams of Sheffield Wednesday. The United States controls. Brian Quinn, he's going to lay it out there in a long run. Puts the ball into space for Henderson. And it is stolen away and played back to goal, and Kevin Pressman is there. In Surrey, the Sheffield Wednesday fans are here. Both of them.
Yeah, they made the long trip, the 6-hour trip over from England, and I'm sure Sheffield is very happy to have him here.
Dangerous play there for the United States as Sheffield was trying to slip Williams through in a pretty good run, and it had the makings of a breakaway type effect, but it was stolen away. Ball comes back, and Desmond Armstrong has it. And we had a play called against Sheffield Wednesday. Stockton soccer here tonight. Soccer fans from all over. 0-0, as you see, as we have played over 30 minutes now here in the first half. The throw in for Sheffield Wednesday. Bruce Murray trying to defend on the play. The ball goes out and will belong to the United States.
I don't think he was really trying to make a pass there. I think he was just trying to knock it off Desmond Armstrong so he could get the throw in because he had no place with that ball.
Boy, as we have seen, as we have traveled on the trail of the World Series of Soccer, and I believe this is our 9th stop at the World Series of Soccer, there have been some tremendous crowds, and once again here tonight in Philadelphia. Nice big crowd at Veterans Stadium. Desmond Armstrong for the United States to Brian Quinn. Now Hugo Perez. So actually Perez is listed as a forward for this game tonight, Matt, but really you see him a lot in the midfield.
Well, he's being given free rein to roam wherever he needs to. He is the playmaker. He needs to control the ball in there. And again, as we said in the beginning, watch how the U.S. knocks the ball across the field, but also goes forward and back with those passes.
This is Gutierrez. Back it comes now. Perez, and Armstrong was making a run. Takes the ball. Works against Hurst of Sheffield Wednesday. Quinn. Now they shift sides and come to the near side. This is Henderson. Palmer comes over to play him. The ball goes knocking off the shin of John Harkes of Sheffield Wednesday. It seems funny to say John Harkes of Sheffield Wednesday, but tonight we must do that. And the ball belongs to the United States, I believe. Although now they're going to set up and give it over to Sheffield Wednesday for a free kick. Nielsen gets the ball back and plays it back to Kevin Pressman, who hasn't been tested at all.
No, neither keeper has really had to make a dramatic save at this point. There is that feeling out there process, but it has been going on for almost 30 minutes now, and I think both teams are going to realize they're not getting many chances at goal, and they're going to start pressing forward more and more.
Here's Sheffield Wednesday. Ball played in. Sheridan plays it in. And Miola reads that well and pulls it away from Carlton Palmer and then sends it down the field. Eck puts a forehead on it. And we have a whistle and a foul called against Sheffield Wednesday.
Not only was that a good play by Tony Miola, he comes out really far on this to make the save, and then he distributes it right away upfield to maybe get that breakaway. So Tony comes out to stop Carlton Palmer and then sends the ball upfield quickly and draws the foul. So now the U.S. has a dead ball situation deep in Sheffield territory, so you'll see a set-piece play. They'll probably try to run towards the ball. They'll probably run 3 guys towards the near post and leave one guy, maybe a Bruce Murray or Marcelo Balboa, at the rear post to try to pick up the long ball with the head.
Caligiuri chips it in. Eck in the air and couldn't get much on it. Looked good when it was sailing into the air because Eck was up there plenty early to get near the ball. Murray made a nice save. They got it back. Quinn hits it. Pressman saves. He really didn't get it all.
He did not, but Brian Quinn made a goal like that in the Gold Cup. One-time shot, catching the keeper flat-footed. In this case, Pressman was equal to the task, already moving to where he thought Quinn was going to put it.
Okay, so finally a good offensive set there by the United States. And 11 minutes remaining here in the first half. 0-0 Sheffield Wednesday, and the United States as Sheffield Wednesday will now go to the attack. Ooh, hard foul on that backside. I believe they got Clavijo, and they did on the foul. As you see Paul Williams, he really took a hard takedown. Williams with the jersey out. Almost goes down to his knees, doesn't he? And the free kick opportunity right now for Sheffield Wednesday. 0-0 tie. Miola reading and staying back. That ball will go to the end line or the sideline. It looks like it went to Miola yelling to his defensive set, and it will be a throw-in, I believe, for the United States as it went over the sideline. Perez couldn't get to it. To watch out, and they really do, as Eck is really all over the place for the United States. Whistles now as the ball was played back by Nigel Pearson all the way backfield down to his goalkeeper. Now this is Roland Nielsen. As Matt mentioned, the great Swedish national player. Touched by Warhurst, who's made a couple of pretty good runs from the back here. Sheridan flicks it back to Warhurst as they work across the baseball infield here at Veterans Stadium. Dirt sections have been covered up by almost like little rugs fitting into the big rug here at Veterans Stadium.
But they're almost an inch difference. Having kicked on them and played soccer on them, they do trip you up. They're a different height and a different surface. They're a different AstroTurf out there. So what you thought was going to get traction in one spot of the field isn't going to be that way on those little patches.
Caligieri tried to cross a ball, and that was stolen. Now Williams plays it back. This is John Sheridan. Sheridan, he chips the ball in. Harkes got his head on it. Carlton Palmer in the area. Tries to pull it around the Americans, and he can't. Perez steals. Eck tried to then cross it across to a flying Chris Henderson, and the ball goes out. And it belongs to the United States.
There's Ted Eck. Having played so well against AC Milan, getting his second chance for BORA here in another game for the World Series of Soccer.
Caligieri gives it off to Hugo Perez as Eck gets ready to go downfield and try and create something. They deliver the ball far aside. Murray taps it down on the carpet, and it comes to Desmond Armstrong. Back to Murray on a run. Murray to the back line. Try to chip it back out in front. Good effort by Bruce Murray.
Oh, Bruce Murray made an almost outrageous stretch to get to that ball, to cross it across. Unfortunately, the pass from Desmond Armstrong is running fast towards the end line. Murray really stretches for it, makes the cross, but there's no one there to cross to, and Pressman makes the easy save.
All right, let me bring in our analysts once again. Now, Matt and Ricky Davis get set for this one. What about Bruce Murray's position changes here in these last couple, in the series of World Series of Soccer? He started out directly up front, where I think he likes to play, and now he's really been moved around a number of times. Matt?
Well, Bruce Murray has been moved to midfield, and if you notice, he's been playing wide on the line. The ball, there he is making the run right now. He likes the action. He likes to be in the middle of things. He likes to crack people, and so although he is probably a better forward, he likes the action around midfield.
Ricky, what about Bruce Murray?
Well, a lot of times what we see with Bruce is that he's such a versatile player. He can play in the midfield, bring the ball through the midfield, but he's also a big guy, and he does so well in the air. So a lot of times, depending on how the team is that he plays against, they'll stick him up front and let him post up and play the balls in the air up to him.
Caligieri tried to knock the ball back, and it went out off of Harkes. So it belongs to the United States as Henderson was making that run. That's who Caligieri was trying to get it to. Quinn gives the ball off to Caligieri, and that's stolen by Harkes. And it goes out off John Harkes again. Up at halftime, we'll visit Kearney, New Jersey, so stay tuned for that. And we're getting closer to halftime in the second now. 7 minutes remaining here in the first half. 0-0 here in the World Series of Soccer from Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Harkes is on the park. Kearney, NJ. We'll take you there at halftime. Quinn, who had the United States' really lone scoring opportunity of the evening on a pass from this man, Hugo Perez. Quinn. That's Gutierrez. Gutierrez looks a lot like Perez when you look at the two of them down in the field. Here's Caligieri from Henderson. Crosses it out in front. Up in the air. Great save by Pressman. Bruce Murray was robbed by Pressman.
Oh, what a great cross by Caligieri. He sets it up very nice. Here comes the pass down to the sideline. Caligieri takes his time, has a nice out-swinging pass. Murray, as Ricky Davis said, gets up over the man, and Pressman has to make a diving save to keep it out of the net. Now watch Murray get above this, and Pressman going to the far post.
And you know, I give Pressman added credit because it looked like he was screened a little bit on the play by Eck, who was out in front.
He was screened, and he was caught a little wrong-footed going towards the near post, thinking that was where Bruce Murray was going. Pressman making a fine diving save across the net.
All right, this kid that nobody knew too much about. They'll talk about that save. That is the save of the game so far by Kevin Pressman.
Well, the injuries that he's had in the past don't seem to be affecting him much now.
Now the throw in, and there's John Harkes putting it in. The Americans bang it out. Henderson knocked it out, trying to get it ahead to Eck. Armstrong in there. Look out. This is Williams. Looking back. Here's Harkes with a shot. Oh, boy, that would have tore the house down, wouldn't it? Even though it would have been against the Americans if Harkes had been able to put it in.
Now, John Harkes takes a left-footed curving blast that he's hoping is going to dip into the upper corner. Tony Meola has to stretch for all he's worth and takes a knock on that post.
Desmond Armstrong on his way out as you look at John Harkes. He's played well here in the first half.
Yes, he has, and as one English commentator once said about John Harkes, he's fitted it in rather snugly with the English First Division.
Very nicely said. Very weak British accent imitation by Matt Barr.
It ought to be.
Okay. Out they come. Sheffield Wednesday. And this is Nielsen. To Harkes. Williams. And the ball is knocked away and a foul called on the United States as Williams was clipped right around the shins. So John Sheridan will set it up. As you see over there on the sideline, Nigel Pearson needing some fluid intake from the Sheffield Wednesday bench. Now moving over is Worthington, who will set the ball up on the free kick.
Now again, Nigel Pearson has moved up from his sweeper position because he has scored a number of goals for Sheffield. 12 goals this season from his sweeper position.
There's Worthington up in the air. Ball flicked forward by Harkes. Eck trying to get it out. Carlton Palmer with it for Sheffield Wednesday. Didn't see anything forward, so he smartly plays it back. Pearson sends it into the box. Up in the air once again. And knocked out by the United States. The scoreboard clock shows 3.5 minutes remaining in the first half. 0-0 the score. The United States and Sheffield Wednesday. Here on Sports Channel America, the World Series of Soccer. The ball will chase back down into the Sheffield Wednesday end. It's Nigel Pearson. Now Nielsen taking the ball in the middle. Usually he takes it on the outside. Gets it back and then gives it up for Harkes in a run, and Armstrong's there. Harkes keeps the ball alive. It comes to Hurst, who tries to hit it. And that deflected off an American player, so it will be a corner kick.
Tony Miola was making the run to try to keep it in, but he just didn't have enough speed to get to it.
Corner kick now, and of course there's the other part of the Carney connection. Tony Miola in goal tonight for the Americans. He's played so well for this World Series of Soccer.
Again, watch for the in-swinger and look at the congestion around the net.
Up in the air. Boy, Miola in a lot of traffic right up against the post, and the foul goes against Sheffield Wednesday. I believe it was Palmer right in there who was sailing into Miola.
Yeah, Carlton Palmer was challenging Miola for that corner. Now it's coming to the near post. Palmer gets up and forces Miola not to be able to handle the ball and goes out of bounds anyway. Now the benefit of the doubt on that foul always goes to the keeper. So, of course, the U.S. got the penalty.
Nielsen almost a dangerous ball back as Gutierrez was in the neighborhood. And they sent it back to that man Pressman, who's come up with a great save here in the first half. A beautiful setup by the United States. Down to Ricky Davis on the sideline.
Yeah, and Matt, you mentioned the play there with Tony Miola. Part of the new ruling that has come out through FIFA, the organizing body of soccer over in Europe, says that any time a goalkeeper actually touches the ball, it's considered within his grasp. And therefore, Tony had a little bit of a touch on the ball. The referee called the foul. The idea is to protect the goalkeepers from getting hurt.
Watch out, a good run here as the run up the field by Sheffield Wednesday, and now Palmer comes back with the ball, but all of a sudden there was a lot of space.
That was part of Palmer's aggressive style. He just run right by the man and pushes him away to get the ball. The ref didn't deem to call the foul, so the play went on.
So here's Sheridan, who made that great run, delivers the ball to the outside. Nielsen takes control, works against Henderson. Sheffield Wednesday here in the closing minutes trying to get into the locker room with the lead. Ball being bounced around. That's always dangerous. Once again, Sheridan in the middle of the play there. Carlton Palmer tries to pull it away from Quinn, and here's Bruce Murray. Again, they lose it. Out in front. Look out. Shot over the crossbar. And they live to tell about it as David Hurst put one right over the crossbar.
Bruce Murray was a little too casual in handling that ball. The steal was made and gave Hurst that opportunity. So here he is making a little casual pass that came to haunt him. Desmond Armstrong makes that, tries to get control of the ball and gives Hurst that opportunity. So the steal is made. Armstrong tries to get it, and Hurst gets a free opportunity.
Way back on. Sheridan with another run, and he's become a big factor who tries to give the ball to Williams, who's running into the box. And the Americans right now look a bit unraveled in their own end.
Look for Tony Miola to slow down the pace of the game. Try to get the defense a breath. Try to get them refreshed and get organized once again.
Do you think they could be a bit fatigued?
It's hard to say. Rick, what do you see down on the field? Is there a problem with the wind right now?
Here's a chance for Caligari, and Pressman must come out of goal and put it out of play. Well, just when we thought they were getting a bit tired, they make a nice run. But seriously, Rick, did you think that they were a little bit fatigued there on the back?
A little bit, but the thing is that just before that, all of the Sheffield players at one time or another in the last 30 seconds have been by to get some water, a little bit of a refreshment there to give them some energy. So I think that maybe gave them that little bit of a lift.
Here's Murray in there with Eck. And they must put it out, and it will end up in a corner kick for the United States. So Murray and Eck, two real big, tall players, are able to get in there and jump in the air and try and win those balls in the air.
Eck tried to bring that ball down to control it to get the shot. In the Gold Cup, you saw Balboa take that same ball and do a bicycle kick for a beautiful goal.
That's the end of the first half here from Philadelphia. 0-0, and we'll be right back right after this regional timeout. Kearney, New Jersey's contribution to the United States World Cup team is threefold. There's John Harkes now playing with Sheffield Wednesday in England. Harkes was such a big factor in the United States making it to the World Cup. And this year he lived out the fantasy of playing in Wembley Stadium in a League Cup final. And then there's the tiny and fiery midfielder Tab Ramos, now playing with Figueres of Spain. And he was such a big factor in the United States making it to Italy too. And finally, there is the last line of defense, American goalkeeper Tony Meola, who continues to make the big saves. And that's just the way he wants to continue doing it till the World Cup in '94. In the shadows of Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands is Vincent's Barber Shop. And Vincent the Barber is Vincent Meola, Tony's dad. Get a trim and plenty of soccer stories.
Scottish people, Irish people, and a lot of Italian. So, that's why it's soccer. For example, Harkes is from Scottish, and his son wants to play soccer. Me, for example, I'm Italian. I want my son to play soccer. So, and I'm glad that I moved to Kearney this way. If there was another town, my son would be where he is right now. So, and just to think about it, 3 boys from one town going to the World Cup. That means something to you. The whole United States. 3 boys playing the World Cup together. I think it's great.
Yeah, that kind of sums it all up. And to downtown Kearney we go now. And we travel to the Scots American Club. Another proud dad, Jim Harkes.
Most of the guys played maybe a year between one another. Chabby Ramos played with John. He was a year older than John. And Tony Meola was a year younger. But at one time or another, they all played together, you know. And I had a chance to coach the 3 of them, which was tremendous, you know. Great kids, you know. The thing is that the rest of the country is getting as good, you know. At one time, we were the elite. You know, we had the soccer corner of the market. But everybody's playing soccer today, and everybody's getting better.
Kearney High School. Yes, the road travels through there, too.
My roommate from Columbia is from New York, and he was here just yesterday. And we were walking around town getting something to eat, and he made the observation that every kid we saw had a pair of soccer shorts or a pair of soccer shoes on, Adidas soccer shoes or any kind of soccer shoes, or carrying a ball or a Tony T-shirt. And he couldn't believe that the whole town, no matter where we went, in the stores, there's posters of the World Cup team. He just couldn't believe that this town was so soccer and nothing else. You know, we went and played tennis, and while we're playing tennis on the courts to the side, little kids are playing a soccer game. You know, and he thought, and I was on a basketball court. You know, you don't see people shooting hoops or throwing a football around. You see them kicking a soccer ball around.
Soccer in the town of Kearney is like an institution. It's probably one of the most popular sports we have, particularly during the fall season. Our football program, even though football has been highly successful over the years and has had a long longevity, it has difficulty competing with the soccer program because of the historical connection between the sport of soccer and the ethnic background of the community itself. 55% of our athletes went on to college, and of those that went on to college, we had 2 go to the military academy, 2 went to Princeton, 4 went to either Penn State or Brown.
Harvey Field in Kearney, and when there's a soccer game going, everybody comes out. It's the place to be. They pack it every time they come out. In all ages, young, and old too. And on this particular night, as they do each summer, the town of Kearney brings a visiting team from Scotland, a youth team in to take on their proud Thistle team. And what a history the Thistle team has. Even Jim Harkes pulls himself away from son John's career to watch and see how the game goes. Thistle loses on this night, but remember, the road to the national team travels through Kearney, New Jersey. So it's halftime here at the Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. 0-0 the score. The United States and Sheffield Wednesday. And 2/3 of the Kearney connection is here. Miola and Harkes both doing well. We paused for a regional timeout. The Americans really had the best opportunity of the entire first half. It started with Perez right there. Hugo Perez working the ball to the side. And then the United States works the ball into the corner. It goes off Henderson's chest. It comes to Paul Caligiuri. Caligiuri crosses it out in front. Watch Bruce Murray. Flicks it, looks like it's going in, and Kevin Pressman comes up with the save of the first half, shielded out in front by number 5, Ted Eck. We've been watching Harkes all night very closely for you, and he almost gave us a great highlight here. There's Paul Williams of Sheffield Wednesday to Harkes. The great move to pull it around. Gutierrez fires on friend Tony Miola, and it just got a little bit too much air underneath it and sailed over the crossbar. So this has been the Budweiser Halftime Report, brought to you by the King of Beers. Nothing beats a Bud. 0-0 at the end of the first half. No goals to tell you about, but let's take a look at the statistics, Matt. Shots on goal, Sheffield Wednesday with more. Corner kick department, the Owls of Sheffield Wednesday with more. And a very even game in the foul department, too. The United States has been offside 3 times.
I think what you're seeing here is the AstroTurf coming into play mostly. The balls that are being laid ahead, going for the offense, have been just running away from the forwards and running out of bounds. So the AstroTurf, the guys just aren't getting acclimated to it yet.
Let's go down to the sideline right now and call in Ricky Davis right now. Ricky, your thoughts on the first half and how, in particular, the United States played?
Well, I think for the most part, Jim, they did all right. They didn't create many opportunities in the middle part of the half, but as it wore on towards the end, they seemed to get their legs a little bit, and with certainly Bruce Murray's opportunity, they did have a chance. Coming out here, they're going to make a change. I ended up just speaking with Ralph Perez, one of the assistant coaches for the national team. Ted Eck's coming out, and McAllister is coming in, so he might be able to be a little bit of an impact player here by coming in and giving them a little bit of lift on the offensive side.
Now, Ricky, Eck's a big boy out there, a big guy. Do you think the heat might have taken its toll on him?
I'm sure it did, because it is warm, and as far as being a player, the best temperature to play in is about 65, 70 degrees. Therefore, you're not too cold, and in turn, you're not so hot that you're losing a lot of liquid. Tonight's temperature, as we mentioned at the beginning of the game, is up in the upper 80s, so I think that it did take its toll. For a big guy, it'll affect him certainly a lot more.
What kind of problems did Sheffield Wednesday pose for the United States defensively?
As Matt said, they're just so direct. They simply just, when they win the ball, they're a transitional team. They win it, they turn around and go on offense, and they end up creating opportunities. They don't give the United States team a chance to set up defensively, and therefore it ends up creating all kinds of problems because you end up always playing a little bit less prepared than you do against a slower, more deliberate team.
So the United States and Sheffield Wednesday right now in a 0-0 tie, and there will be a change in goal right now for Sheffield Wednesday. There is Chris Turner in goal, who is the frontline goalkeeper for this side now.
Yes, he is. Chris Turner is not as big as Pressman is, but he is a bit more agile. He has a little bit more range, and maybe because the way the ball is moving on this AstroTurf, his agility is needed in there.
But I was very impressed with Pressman in particular. You have to be impressed at any goalkeeper that can come up with a reactionary type save. The type that he made off of Murray was really a fine stop.
Yes, I think Pressman did indeed impress the coach, Trevor Francis. I think Pressman made a good mark for him in his first showing for Sheffield in a long while.
As Ricky was talking down there, we noticed that BORA MILUTINOVIC was walking out with Trevor Francis out of the dugout, chatting a bit. And it just seems so strange to look down there and see a manager for the side that the United States is taking on in uniform, and he could come into the match, although he did not come in the first half. We're underway right now, second half. Just to reset and tell you where we are, we're at the Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. I'm Jim Donovan with Matt Barr and Ricky Davis World Series of Soccer, stop number 9 along our long trail. Sheffield Wednesday. The opposition tonight, the English club team that has moved to Division 1 after a successful season in Division 2, and they've been elevated. That's the reward for their fine play. Up into Division 1 they go when the season begins next week.
I think the way the U.S. is going to play this half, because of the substitution, John Mahalik has been brought in for his defensive play, and it looks like Chris Henderson is now the point man. So look for Chris Henderson to take over the role of Ted Eck up front, and John Mahalik to add some more defensive strength in the midfield.
David Hurst flicks the ball over to the side, and there's the hard-working Harkes sending a good ball out in front, but there's that AstroTurf bounce right there. You see that in baseball happen so many times when a ball bounces over an outfielder's head. Well, right there it bounced over 2 Sheffield Wednesday players out in front. And there is the young player Henry Gutierrez out of Miami, Florida, playing for the Wolfpack of North Carolina State in his first American national appearance here tonight with the World Cup team. He's up in the air to battle for that ball. Lost the ball a bit, then gave a great ball to Henderson. He's offside. And for the 4th time in the match now, the United States is offside.
Well, Henderson didn't move into an offside position. He was just waiting there, and the Sheffield defense moved up to defense the ball more closely. So Henderson was caught ball watching there a little bit. He was standing there, the defense moved up, and when the pass was made, he was offside.
All right, here they come up the field now, Sheffield Wednesday. This is Nielsen. Sending the ball and running for it is Carlton Palmer, and he is taken off the ball there by Caligiuri. The ball goes out and belongs to the United States. Boy, a long, rangy player. Look at how long his legs are. Carlton Palmer. I would think a ball is never out of his reach. 0-0 tie here, second half just underway. There's Gutierrez running to a ball out by midfield. They'll have to hurry. They step in and steal. Balboa flicks the ball. Murray knocks it down to Henderson. John Sheridan steals, the Irish national team player. And they play back to keeper Chris Turner. So there is Kevin Pressman, the goalkeeper for Sheffield Wednesday, who played the first half and is now given way to Chris Turner here in the second half. Harkes flicks the ball off the back of his heel. Perez again. Mahalik, fresh legs, remember. He's in the area. Oh, nice ball to Henderson. Turner out to smother. Chris put the ball too far out in front of himself, it seems.
Yeah, what a nice play by John Mahalik. He got control of the ball, pushed the man a little bit away from him, didn't get called for the foul, and then backheeled it to Henderson, who was running onto it. Now let's take a look at it here. Here comes Mahalik, uses his body to get in front between the ball and the man and just make sure that he stays there, and then backheels it to Henderson, who just gives it a little bit too much of a push on this AstroTurf again, and it gets away from him.
Go USA. They want a goal here in the second half as we are at 0-0, and Fernando Clubillo gives it to Balboa, and they swing it to the outside. So Mahalik stepped in. As I said, he had those fresh legs, and you could tell he had a burst there to set up a scoring opportunity. Murray back to defend and knock the ball away and knock it out. Throw in. Nigel Worthington will put it in play, and I think they're trying to get the wave going here.
A little four-man wave.
Yeah. Unable to get it done here in the second half. Worthington looking to throw in now. Henderson chasing on the ball, which disturbed Worthington on the throw in. Back comes to Chris Turner, slipped and fell. They got proof we didn't have that. Play back on now.
Well, if you notice the red shirt, that is an English national shirt he's wearing there, so obviously he's supporting Sheffield in this endeavor.
Brian Quinn with the ball for the United States. Lays it up, trying to get a crossing Bruce Murray on a run, and that's stolen away. Sheffield Wednesday covers up Worthington, then sends the ball back towards midfield. Back they come now, the run. Sheridan tees another ball up, and it sails high. Sheridan on the run there by Sheffield Wednesday. A bit disgusted with himself. We'll be back in a 0-0 tie. All right, Ricky Davis down on the sidelines for us tonight. Sheffield Wednesday in the United States at 0-0. Playing the ball back is Paul Warhurst. Not a goal now. Chris Turner will bring it back into the box. Turner came on here in the second half, replacing Kevin Pressman, who started the game for Sheffield Wednesday. Nigel Worthington plays it up, headed back down by Bruce Murray. Henderson Gutierrez to Perez. Space for Murray. Breaking in. Bruce Murray shoots and scores!
That's why they call Hugo Perez the playmaker. He gathered the ball in and made a nice speed pass on this AstroTurf to Bruce Murray, who you will see run onto the ball, get good control of it, take his time, and then slip the ball past the new keeper, Chris Turner.
Turner got an inside leg on it, but not enough to knock it down. Gutierrez to Perez, and look at Murray.
Murray streaking through, and Murray just takes his time, gets good wood on it, and slips it under Chris Turner for the goal. Good goal for the U.S.
Let's go down to Ricky Davis. Ricky, what did you think of the goal?
Hugo Perez. The ball comes through perfectly under Bruce Murray as he's running towards the goal. As a forward for Bruce, you love having opportunities like that because all you got to do is one time it at the goal. Before that, though, I was going to say that tactically the United States team's changed a little bit. They're pushing people forward. They aren't laying back and letting them play out of the back, and the original play started on a turnover.
Now this is a dangerous point for the U.S. because there's usually a little letdown after a goal, and they don't want to get lackadaisical in the defense and let Sheffield get back in this match with an equalizing goal.
And you're right, that's what happened against AC Milan after the goal by the United States. Perez in the second half. Just minutes later, AC Milan tied the game up. There's your goal scorer, Bruce Murray, and we talked about him in the first half kind of being juggled, but boy, he knows what to do with it once he gets into that box. And he hit that one hard. The United States in a free kick setup now. Balboa to Quinn. Crowd energized. Perez and Gutierrez tried to play a little 1-2, but it was stolen away. And now we'll watch Sheffield Wednesday work out of their end. Not much Turner, the goalkeeper, could do on that. Murray was really in pretty clean.
Well, he did try to get position on it, but as you said, that ball is coming fast along the bottom of the turf, and where Turner might have thought that that ball might have skipped up into his hand, it went right under him, and Murray got the goal.
So the World Cup in 1994, and the United States side is playing so well here in this World Series of Soccer. Really, BORA MILUTINOVIC has come in, really done a nice job, and you can see how this team is gathering more and more confidence, and he's seeing more and more young players too, inserting one or two into the match.
Each week you can see their style growing a little bit more. They are trying more things and building from the back forward. We talked about it in the beginning, how they move the ball across the field, but they're using the midfield more in that move across the field. Now they're finishing more. They're getting those quick thrusts up the middle, trying to get the shots. So each week you can see BORA's team growing.
This is Fernando Clavillo to Gutierrez, off the back of his foot and out. So Trevor Francis on the Sheffield Wednesday bench, and right now has to be discouraged with the 1-0 scoreboard showing the United States in the lead. Armstrong climbed right over the back of his forward out in front of him. Harkes knocked the ball to the right. It's played back to Miola, and he's there to make the stop. Tony lays it out on the far side, and the United States starts back up. Paul Caligiuri gave it in the middle to Balboa. And this is Desmond Armstrong. Chips it ahead. They have the flag up on the United States. Henderson on the offside.
Chris Henderson trying to run along that offside trap so he can stay even with the last man. In that case, while he was running across, the defense was moving up.
Down the middle of the field, that's where Sheridan likes to work so well, and he sends the ball into the middle, and that's knocked away by the United States. Played back up into the box, headed out by Balboa. Here's Sheridan, chipping to the corner. Harkes for Sheffield Wednesday. Sends it back out into the box, right in the middle. Sheridan pushed on the back of the American, and the foul goes against Sheridan. And right now, they are going pretty well. 1-0 United States. There's John Sheridan, the Irish national team player, who had the big goal we mentioned for Sheffield Wednesday and the winning goal in the League Cup final against Manchester United at Wembley Stadium. Carlton Palmer right at midfield. A run up the near side too far ahead of Danny Wilson. The ball goes out, and it will be a throw in for Bruce Murray, your goal scorer here tonight for the Americans.
Some really nice things have been happening to the U.S. in soccer over these last week. They won the Gold Cup. That's the CONCACAF region. First major tournament that the U.S. has won. Really exciting time.
Here's Bruce Murray. Play back on in the middle of the field. And now Sheffield Wednesday playing the ball back down to Nigel Pearson. Down to the field right now, and Ricky Davis.
Yeah, twice since the United States team scored, Hugo Perez, you talk about the relationship of a player and a coach, has gone over to the sideline to confer with BORA, see what might need to be done in terms of settling the team down. Hugo, obviously the role player in this game, the guy that ends up doing so much for the United States team, not only in terms of his offense, but in terms of helping other players play in terms of keeping possession of the ball. Twice they've conferred, twice BORA has said in essence the same thing. Get the players to calm down, get them to maintain possession of the ball. We're ahead, we don't need another goal.
Now here's a free kick. Look for the in-swinger. The guy is running towards the near post, and then the one man hanging on the far post, trying to be left alone in a one-on-one situation.
There's the cross. Palmer in the air. Balboa got it. And then Quinn cleared it away. Warhurst now takes it back into the Sheffield Wednesday end. Send the ball back down to Palmer's way again, and Balboa wins that ball, and it goes right back to Miola. There's Marcelo wanting the ball and now getting the ball from Miola. 33 minutes remaining in the match. 1-0 the United States, 0-0 at the half, but Bruce Murray scored here in the second half to give the United States the edge. This is Nielsen. Up it goes to Williams. Now to Palmer on the run. He's got some room. Fires. Miola saves. Clavijo clears. And Palmer almost put that one into the back of the net. Good save by Miola. And the United States breaks out now. This is where Perez loves to create. Here he is. Mahalik making a run, but he drops it back. Quinn tried to deliver the ball over to the far side. And that's stolen away, and now a run the other way. Sheffield Wednesday with a drive. Miola punches and saves as he robs Harkes. That's twice now Harkes has had opportunities.
That's right, and it's a good thing John Harkes took that shot, because all alone on the far post, standing there, was Paul Williams. There's John Harkes trying to sneak one by his teammate.
You know, he actually applauded in the direction of Miola to say, nice save, well done. Corner kick now. Nigel Worthington will take the corner for Sheffield Wednesday. They trail 1-0. There's Palmer knocking it down, and then the United States knocking it out. Mahalik got it out. Pretty good pressure now by Sheffield Wednesday. Worthington works to keep it in. The ball was out, though. Let's go back and watch some good goals keeping now by Tony Miola.
Now Williams and Palmer make a little 1-2 here, and Palmer just takes a hard shot. Miola has to stretch for it, and then Balboa comes in to make the clear because the ball slipped away. Now here's the second opportunity off of Harkes. Miola again has to make a diving punch over the back of the net on John Harkes' shot.
Harkes is really blessed with that ability to get a real thundering shot off, isn't he?
Yes, he is, and Tony is well aware of it, especially after that goal of the year goal against Peter Shilton.
Armstrong steals a ball in the middle. He's got Murray on that right side. Now Bruce crosses one, but it's headed away there by Nigel Pearson. And Sheffield Wednesday starts back through the middle of the field, running hard. Nielsen plays it out there for Palmer. The ball will roll back to Miola, as it was Caligiuri who really shielded Palmer.
Now here comes Harkes. He just takes a real long run at the ball and a one-time shot trying to catch Tony Miola on the near post.
Game has truly opened up now. Perez. Quinn fires. Scores!
Jim, I think you're going to be hearing that combination of names a lot in the future for the U.S. That was a nice pass by Perez over to Quinn, who takes that one-time left-footed blast and catches Turner again on the upper right-hand corner. Now watch this pass over by Perez, and Quinn just runs onto it and takes it with his left foot. Boom, right there. Upper left-hand corner, nothing Turner can do about it. Great goal by Brian Quinn.
Ricky Davis, what did you see?
Play there. What happened was I think the ball was actually tipped a little bit by the defender, which made it that much more difficult for Turner to make a save because the ball redirected itself somewhat. Instead of going a little bit lower into the goal, it actually I think ended up going higher than he expected.
So 2-0, the United States in the lead on the goal by Brian Quinn. Beating that man right there who's come off the bench. Chris Turner here in the second half and been beaten twice.
Well, Chris Turner must have been sitting there in the first half saying, well, Pressman made a couple of nice saves, but really nothing much is happening right now, and he goes in and gets burned for 2 goals.
There's
great goals that he could not do anything about.
You saw Pressman sitting there. He blanked the United States in the first half. But now here in the second half, it has been all the United States as they have scored twice. Here's Desmond Armstrong now with it for the United States. Down it comes. Murray puts it on his forehead, falls back, and it will belong to the United States. Down to Ricky Davis now on the sideline.
Yeah, Jim, Matt, not much of a surprise at this point. A lot of activity in the last couple minutes since the United States went up by their second goal on the bench of Sheffield Wednesday. They're about ready to make a substitute. Number 11, Danny Wilson coming out of the game. Number 16, Steve McKenzie going to go in, certainly with offensive aspects in mind as they try and get back into this game.
Sheffield Wednesday now trying to come back and answer. They got a long way to go. 2-0 the United States in the lead. The ball is headed out by Balboa. There's Steve McKenzie about ready to come on now for the Sheffield Wednesday side. The play is on. They did not get him in this time. And here we have a foul called here, and we will now have time for the substitution, I believe. As we wait for McKenzie to come on. And I believe it's a free kick opportunity for the United States. And here comes McKenzie on right now.
Steve McKenzie was a teenage prodigy when he was growing up. He was one of those players they really expected a lot from. They paid an outrageous sum for him, I think almost $500,000 before he even played a game. And he never really panned out. He never really lived up to his expectations. They're hoping he can get in here. Now, he did have a really nice goal in an FA Cup replay. But it was really not remembered because a great goal was scored later in that match by the great Argentine Ricky Beard.
So McKenzie is on, and David Wilson went off. And the United States plays it back. All right, now what about strategy, gentlemen? And I'll start with you, Matt. You're ahead 2-0. Is that enough?
Well, I don't think it's ever enough. I don't think any team will be satisfied with 2-0. If anything, because you have a 2-0 cushion, every player tries to push up and maybe get that third goal. By the same token, you see Sheffield makes the substitution to get maybe the fresh legs in there and make something happen up front.
Another try for the United States, and Henderson had his shot blocked by Palmer. John Sheridan now for Sheffield Wednesday. Ricky, what about the philosophy of the United States? Do they sit back now?
Well, they can sit back and certainly maintain possession of the ball and let the clock run itself out. But 2-0 is one of those funny scores. You give up a goal and suddenly they're right back in it. And in soccer, we don't like to see a 2-0 score unless you can have it about 2-0 with only a couple of minutes left in the game.
There's Richie Barker sitting there, the assistant coach with Trevor Francis. He came on with Ron Atkinson and stayed on when Trevor took over the squad.
Trevor right now on the bottom side of the score, 2-0, so his debut as manager of Sheffield Wednesday not going well here in the city of brotherly love. A tough start for the new manager, and a foul called here in the box called against Sheffield Wednesday. Alan Rothenberg is getting set to move in with us right now, the president of the United States Soccer Federation. And I'll tell you what, the last time Alan was with us in Chicago, the United States scored. So hang on, it could be 3-0 in a couple of minutes. Welcome, Alan.
Great to be here, great to ruin Trevor's debut, and let me particularly say hello to all the people watching the game in Detroit at the United States Soccer Federation AGM. We're doing it again, gang.
I'll tell you, Ricky Davis was there, and he was telling us they had a big room set up there, a big ballroom set up with hundreds of people going to watch the game. The team is playing so well, not only here tonight, but really the last few weeks? The entire World Series of Soccer, they've played well.
The magic continues. It's really marvelous to see what these guys are doing and how well BORA's got them playing.
Alan, you're moving now to Chicago. Tell us about that. The Federation is going to move their headquarters to Chicago. Exciting news this week.
It's terrific. We've been in Colorado Springs for all these years, and it's wonderful. It's the home of the USOC. But as we move into the big time, which we clearly are doing, we need to be in a major metropolitan area with great transportation, corporate media exposure.
Paul Williams coming down, and the shot was blocked, and the United States is able to wiggle out of a bit of a dicey situation there.
Alan, U.S. soccer in general has really been coming on lately, winning the Gold Cup, making a real good showing over in Sheffield in the university games. What do you expect to see from the Olympic team in the Pan Am Games?
Well, we expect our Olympic team to qualify to go to Barcelona. We have a 17-year-old and under team in Italy starting in the FIFA tournament there, and they're going to do well. And of course, our women, who are really our pride and joy, are the favorite to win the first ever Women's World Cup in China this fall. So at all levels.
Hang on, once again, Gutierrez got in there, and they'll play it back to Chris Turner in goal.
Well, we certainly want to wish the women a great deal of luck over in China. Michelle Akerstall and April Heinrichs, I mean, they really have been a world-class power in women's soccer.
We have a modest goal, and that is to win back-to-back World Cups, the 1991 Women's World Cup and the 1994 Men's World Cup.
All right, once again, these are the games coming up. The United States national women's team against Norway on August 30th in New Britain, Connecticut. So once again, make sure you get out and see them in that particular game. And they'll also be playing around the New England area in another game coming up too. The United States once again against Norway, coming up at Tufts University in Waltham, Massachusetts, September 1 at 2:30 in the afternoon. Now, they'll be playing in China in November, but before they do that, get out and see them, because we saw them in, where did we see them? In New Haven, Connecticut, down at the Yale Bowl before the United States men played Juventus, and they are very, very entertaining.
They are great. They really are a joy to watch, and they're tremendous athletes, and they're wonderful people. And as I say, our goal is to win the World Cup in China, and I really believe we'll do it.
Alan, thanks very much for stopping by.
It's a joy to be here under these circumstances.
We'll check out the injury, and we'll be back to Philadelphia right after this time out.
Can't get enough of America's first World Cup? You will in Soccer America. How about our national team and the Olympics? Soccer America delivers.
I've been reading Soccer America ever since I went head-to-head against Pelé back in the 70s. I like Soccer America because it profiles personalities. It reports on the pro college women's and international scenes and focuses on the very pulse of soccer in America.
Call toll-free to learn more about Soccer America, the USA's only national soccer weekly. 18 issues just $19.94. Call 1-800-453-6500 now.
Jim Donovan along with Matt Barr and Ricky Davis down on the sidelines for us. And as is wont to happen in the heat like this, players begin to cramp up. Warhurst is down on the field right now and getting back up. And here's the play that sent him down. And he tightened right up on that right calf muscle. As you see him right there hanging over. And so Warhurst right now taking some liquids, but apparently is okay and is going to stay in. All right, let's go down to the sideline and Ricky Davis.
Yeah, Jim, just as we had that break there because of the injury, it was actually what appeared to be a carpet injury where his toe stuck a little bit, ended up catching it, and somewhat ended up pulling the muscle in the back of his calf. The break that we just had there, it's like watching a bunch of camels out in the middle of the desert for a while. Everybody dashed over to the sideline and ended up getting a whole bunch of drinks.
Hey, Rick, when I played with the Caribous of Colorado, it was on grass, and the 30-game season really was just playing a lot of games. How did a season on AstroTurf for you with the Cosmos make you wear during the season?
The big problem there, Matt, was that when we ended up having the games, so many of them on turf, we watched Bruce Murray head the ball safely out for a corner kick. The problem that we had was that you ended up getting bump and overuse injuries, not the same type of things you could get on grass. Because the turf is so hard and the amount of times that you hit the turf, you'd end up coming up with bumps, bruises, and scrapes. But other than that, it really, I don't think, was a whole lot different.
Now, once the cramp starts, they're almost impossible to get them to go away towards the end of the game. You're going to be having that cramp throughout the whole game.
Here's the corner by Worthington. Puts it in. Perez lets it go over the line, and it will be a goal kick for the United States.
That was David Hurst really skying to get that head ball.
2-0, the United States in the lead. As As you look at Nigel Pearson running back towards play. The United States on the goals by Bruce Murray and by Brian Quinn. Lead by a score of 2-0. And the United States, it appears, is starting to make the moves towards substitution back down to Ricky.
They are definitely making some substitutes. This is, I think, a matter of wanting to maintain a little bit of tempo in the game. Don't end up giving up something. They're pulling out number 8, Gutierrez, and bringing on Troy Snyder. It's clearly a defensive player that defensive role that Troy plays, and certainly with a 2-0 lead, that's all they need at this point.
Now, Ricky, we noticed that BORA was almost had a sheet of paper out there and was drawing or going over an assignment with him. What do you think he's telling him? Who he's supposed to be watching out for?
I think who he's supposed to watch out for, what he expects him to do while he's out there, and then in turn, if nothing else, try and get him to calm down. One of the things that BORA does so well as a player's type of coach is make the players feel good about themselves as they go out there.
Here's a run for Carlton Palmer. He catches up to the ball. Slips a little bit on the home plate section here at Veterans Stadium. And then Brian Quinn went down on that same insert, or as they call them here, cookies. That's what they call them when they place in those sections to cover up the dirt section.
I don't call them cookies. I call them a pain in the neck because they are a different height, and they do make you trip every time you run over them.
Well, here's Henry Gutierrez, who made his first start for the United States World Cup team, coming off. And getting ready to come in is Troy Snyder. And Snyder has done this a number of times, come on in the second half, and he also gives him some fresh legs. He's a fine player. So the substitution made by the Americans. A nice job done by Gutierrez.
Yes, and his first appearance for BORA. BORA must be seriously happy with the way Henry has played.
You're looking at Hugo Perez. Did he change his shoes? Is that what he was doing? I believe that might have been what he was doing, changing his footwear during that break in the action.
Yeah, Jim, he did. That's exactly what he did. Hugo came over. I think his feet were a little hot, a little uncomfortable in the flat tennis-style type of shoe that he had on. So he's actually gone to a cleat that will give him a little less traction, but certainly not nearly as important on a dry type of AstroTurf field that we have tonight.
The long kick down the field by Miola, and the save is made now by Turner. This is Nigel Pearson for Sheffield Wednesday. They trail 2-0. We have under 20 minutes remaining. Well under that now, close to 17.5 minutes remaining in the match. It is 2-0 the United States, both goals coming here in the second half. One by Bruce Murray, one by Brian Quinn. Pearson plays the ball into the corner, running for it there was Carlton Palmer. It's knocked out by the Americans. Throw in. There's John Harkes putting it in. Palmer loses the ball, and the United States starts out. Quinn. Calogeri. Head to Henderson, and he's flagged for the offside. I believe that's about the 6th or 7th time now that the United States has been offside in the match. And most of them belong to Henderson.
Yes, Sheffield has been playing a rather casual offside trap. They move up unawares, which is what they should be doing, and catching Henderson 3 times this half.
Throw in now for the United States. Armstrong puts it in. Perez. Knocked down to the field. We go to Ricky Davis.
Yeah, and Matt, absolutely. Chris Henderson has been the one that's been caught for the offside. And so often as a young player, when you come into a team, as a young player with not a lot of experience at this level and with this team, you end up getting a little overexcited, a little overambitious, wanting to score a goal, to certainly gain the recognition of the coaches. And in Chris' case, I think that's what he's doing. He's pushing himself a little bit too far up the field, certainly trying to end up making something that will be of impact and certainly make him more noticeable.
Rick, do you find that Chris Henderson is ball watching? Is he watching the ball and not watching the men around him?
He's watching the ball a little bit, but I think what he's doing is he's trying to time his runs in such a way that he is onside at the time the ball is passed. Thus far, it hasn't worked for him, part in due to the fact that Sheffield is playing a little bit of a trap. As they wait for the pass to be made, they are taking that 1 or 2 steps forward, putting him into that offside position, and it's just a matter of him settling down, maybe making his runs from a little bit deeper, therefore being onside at the time the ball is played forward.
Well, as you can see, the crowd here in Philadelphia getting excited. They flashing the sign, "We want the cup." They would love this to be a World Cup site. As play is on now, Sheffield Wednesday trying to answer back with a goal here. This is Paul Williams. Playing it through, up that near sideline, running for it was Worthington. He could not catch up. It will be a goal kick for the United States.
Well, I'll tell you, on that run, Worthington looked really tired.
Yes,
he just didn't seem to have any spunk behind him, and Either he realized that that ball was running away from him, or he was just tired.
It's 2-0, the United States in the lead. We step out for a timeout, and we'll be back to Philadelphia. Stages of the match here in Philadelphia. Under 15 minutes remaining. McKenzie for Sheffield Wednesday takes control of the ball. Runs it through the midfield. To Carlton Palmer. Sheffield Wednesday trails the United States 2-0. The wave is on here at Veterans Stadium as the crowd has been turned on by the American play here in the second half. Here's one of your goal scorers, Bruce Murray. Playing a ball up, trying to get it to Henderson, but could not. And Sheffield Wednesday starts on the attack again. Well, it was not going well in the first half when they tried the wave, but I think 2 goals by the Americans has them all in rhythm here at the Vet. Sheffield Wednesday now trying to mount the attack, playing it back to goal, and we go down to the sideline. Ricky.
Yeah, you talk about getting the wave going. What an electrifying atmosphere as it passes by me right now for the players out there. Very often, one of the frustrating things for the team is playing here in the United States, but with the crowd being predominantly for the other team. No question about it here. They want the United States to do well, and the wave is, I think, making the players feel a whole lot better about it.
Now the USA chant is going out. Quinn, great ball out in front. Turner knocks the ball away and then saves before he went over the end line. Wow, what a great ball there, delivered by Quinn as he gave it to Snyder up the middle. Watch Troy Snyder on the run, Matt.
Well, Turner really did not want another goal scored, so he took Snyder down hard and then got the ball. Because it's 2-0, the ref didn't think there was going to be a penalty kick. Now, it looks like Sheffield's going to making a substitution. Looks like Viv Anderson is trying to get in, and Gordon Watson.
2-0, the United States in the lead. As you look at the Sheffield Wednesday bench, players getting stretched out and suited up to try and give some relief for the players out there who have battled through some heat here tonight in Philadelphia. All out, and it belongs to the United States. Throw in for the Americans. Caligiuri will set it in. Snyder. Caligiuri. Swings it over here to a wide open Bruce Murray. Murray fights off a charge there and makes a nice play to keep the ball going as Nigel Worthington was right up on him, and Worthington has come off the back and really gone forward a lot here in the second half. And a foul is called on Sheffield Wednesday. And it looks like the substitutions are going to come in. Murray is also down right now on the field. But there you see Gordon Watson ready to come in, and there is Bruce Murray. We'll be right back to the Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. 2-0, the United States in the lead.
Who's 2?
Jim Donovan along with Matt Barr and Ricky Davis getting set to go here in the closing minutes. 10 minutes remaining in the match. Great feeling inside Veterans Stadium. The United States is leading. Bruce Murray is going to come off right now. He has had a goal in the match. And Bruce Savage will come on.
With only 10 minutes left in the game, both coaches are trying to make that last gasp. BORA MILUTINOVIC trying to preserve the 2-0 win. And Trevor Francis sending in 2 more men with the fresh legs trying to get the 2 equalizing goals.
Here's Henderson. He's in the box. He's got it. Crosses it. And they must head it out. And so Savage will run to it after just coming on. And that was a nice play by the United States. Henderson found himself with some room. This is Quinn. He has the other American goal besides the goal by Murray. Armstrong. Desmond. Knocked away by Carlton Palmer. Armstrong was also knocked off the ball himself, then a foul is called. And it is called against Sheffield Wednesday as Viola catches up to the ball and will give it back towards midfield. So we're under 10 minutes remaining in the match. Tonight's Mars Milky Way World Series of Soccer Most Valuable Players. David Hurst from Sheffield Wednesday and Hugo Perez, our Mars Milky Way MVP from the United States. There is Hugo as he has set up both American goals here tonight. once again, from Sheffield Wednesday, David Hurst. So congratulations to both players. Mars Milky Way will make a charitable donation of $1,000 on behalf of these two players to youth soccer in the United States. Here's Perez now with the ball. And the free kick now for Sheffield Wednesday. Ball comes in. Loose ball, and Sheffield Wednesday looking for a foul call or a handball call on the United States, and they do not get the call.
Well, they're in those melees. The ball's bouncing all around, and Sheffield Wednesday probably really thought that there was a handball made. They're complaining to the official, but the official says, didn't see it, corner kick. Watch for the in-swinger here.
Corner kick now for Sheffield Wednesday. And it goes right to Miola. And he handles with 7.5 minutes remaining.
There's David Hurst. Played a great game, got the MVP today, and he's really one of the big players for Sheffield Wednesday. He's got 26 goals this season. He went through a 10-game scoring drought this year, and lo and behold, John Harkes, his teammate, got him out of it by giving him an assist against Barnsley to break him out of that 10-game slump.
Nigel Worthington with the ball now for Sheffield Wednesday. Plays it up for Paul Williams, and Balboa runs that ball to the sideline and knocks it out. And so they're in the closing minutes now, and the United States really not taking any opportunities, using the sidelines to just clear the ball away from trouble. A throw in for Sheffield Wednesday. Let's go down to Ricky Davis on the sideline, and Ricky, the United States, putting the finishing touches on this one, it seems.
Putting the finishing touches on it and putting the finishing touches on making some changes. BORA deciding to go to a goalkeeper change at this particular time. Mark Dodd about ready to come in to replace Tony Miola. Not something that you see very often in the game, but certainly it's nice to give Tony a round of applause, as I'm sure he'll get when he leaves the field, and in turn give Mark Dodd an opportunity to get out there and get his hands wet by making a couple plays.
Sure, Tony Miola has really had a great series throughout this whole series, and that's why he got the MVP of this game.
Let's listen to the hand from Miola.
Tony Miola doing the captain's badge proud. He really led the team today, came up with some fine saves, and he's really been a steadying factor for the U.S. in all of these games.
So Miola leaves, Mark Dodd comes in, and will handle the ball now. Under 6 minutes remaining in the match. The United States leading by a score of 2-0. There's Brian Quinn touching down. Savage with it for the United States. Troy Snyder to Caligari. Back it comes to Snyder, and again now they'll just play ball control right here. Make Sheffield Wednesday come to that.
Now, there's no reason to pick up the pace. The U.S. is staying with their style, controlling the ball, moving the ball across the field, and they're also killing the clock. There's really no incentive for them to get more goals at this point. They just want to get away with the win. What a good win it'll be, because Sheffield Wednesday is an excellent side.
Hugo Perez to Armstrong to Quinn. Good ball control here. The United States sweeps it forward. Here's Mahalik trying to get into the action, and he was steered off the play. And Chris Turner plays the ball out as he distributes. He had a rough coming out party here in the second half. Turner came on in the second half after Pressman played a good first half for Sheffield Wednesday and made a great save. And Turner has been beaten twice. Now the United States will get this ball too. Perez heads it forward. Boy, he has been so creative all over the field as he tried to give it to Mahalik. And Sheffield Wednesday now coughs the ball up again as the United States flirts with trying to add another goal. Perez, Quinn, Henderson, and Snyder got knocked off the ball. Mahalik now, and the United States is called for the offside. Under 4 minutes remaining in the match. There's Paul Caligieri. It really is good to see Caligieri back. Had a year over in Germany playing with a second division club over there.
He seemed to do very well in the Bundesliga. Came back with a bit more experience, and anytime you get to play a different brand of soccer, a different brand of international soccer, you really grow as a player. I'm sure that happened to Ricky when he played with the Cosmos, having so many great internationals around him.
Paul Williams with another opportunity, ran towards the ball. Now the United States working it out. Armstrong up the near sideline. Savage plays it off the leg of Worthington. And here they come, Mahalik. Delivers now to Caligieri, who has another run left in his legs here in the second half, and he plays it out as the ball scooted away from him. Tonight's American Airlines something special in the air. Save of the game is when Paul Caligieri centered it out in front. Bruce Murray with the header. Kevin Pressman with the great stretch-out save. Pressman with the American Airlines something special in the air save of the game, although he left after the first half, and he left with that great save.
Well, I don't know if Pressman is counting himself lucky by sitting out the second half, or saying, well, maybe he could have done a little bit more than Chris Turner in the net.
Ball goes out now, and it belongs to the United States. We have another substitution set to come in for Sheffield Wednesday. Look at that, another big crowd here tonight. 44,261 here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Plus the 500 or so that are watching us in Detroit at the meetings for the Soccer Federation.
Well, congratulations to the Philadelphia Organizing Committee, because they really put on a nice event here. Everything is very festive, the crowd enthusiastic, and 44,000 strong screaming for the game.
Delighted to see them get to watch a couple of American goals, and beauties they were.
Yes, they were.
All right, the ball comes up in the middle of the field now. Sheffield Wednesday cannot control. Mahalik runs it to the far sideline, and it goes out, and it belongs to Sheffield Wednesday, too.
Now, did you see how Armstrong played that defense? He really didn't force himself too far in there, but he did not let the man turn with the ball, and he just stayed close enough so that he could knock it out of bounds.
All right, with it now is Palmer, and he flicks it right into the top of the box. The United States trying to keep Sheffield Wednesday off the board, preserve the shutout, and Balboa slides and kicks the ball out. Referee looking here to see if it is a throw-in or a corner kick, and it will belong to Sheffield Wednesday on a throw-in. The United States in the lead. With an explosion here in the second half that resulted in a Bruce Murray goal and a Brian Quinn goal and some fine goalkeeping by Tony Miola, as tonight he really robbed buddy John Harkes playing for the Sheffield Wednesday side. That was a fine save too. The clear out and a well done right there by Savage to knock it away back towards midfield. And just preserve and hold on now as ball sails over the head of John Harkes and out of play. And the referee will soon be looking down to his watch and telling us that this one is just about over. Angelo Praxis, John Harkes is waving on, telling everybody to come up here. Harkes never gives up, never throws it in.
No, he really has done a good job for Sheffield this year. He's come up with some big goals, and he's really made his mark with the team.
So we're into injury time now, and of course there was some injury time here in the second half. We had a couple of players go down with muscle pulls and cramps. Very, very festive evening here at Veterans Stadium. The clear out by Balboa, off the sideline and out of play. A great scene when Miola robbed Harkes on a potential goal, and Harkes applauded the save by Miola.
Oh, and teammates love to do that to each other. They really like to get one on them. If they get a chance to make a gate, they get a chance to make a goal, and Tony came up with a good save on John Harkes, and Harkes applauded him for it.
All right, here's the ball, and it's played out by the United States. Down the field it comes.
Well, I think the four things that really affected Sheffield the most in this game were the turf, being unused to the turf, the ball running away, the humidity. It's really muggy out here, and of course the two goals by the U.S. That really seemed to take a bit out of Sheffield.
Let's go down to Ricky. Ricky, as we wrap it up, your thoughts on this one?
Well, I think certainly from the United States perspective, a great game. They come into here, end up playing basically a game where they knew what they wanted to do at the beginning, and they followed a game plan to a T, getting some opportunities in the second half, capitalizing on them, and then not giving up on the defensive end. For Sheffield Wednesday, well, they've got a season coming up, and certainly from Trevor Francis's perspective, this I'm sure was all about training and getting ready for that season, so both teams can walk out here with their heads high.
As we watch Mark Dodd put the ball down for a goal kick, we must remember Francis was a part of the story here tonight. His first game as manager of the Sheffield Wednesday club as he takes over for Ron Atkinson, who has left. The whistle, and that is it in Philadelphia. The United States is a 2-0 winner. And as sad as Harkes is, I'm sure, for the 2-0 loss, he must be proud of the way his teammates played here tonight, and we'll look forward to the time to join them again wearing their own colors.
I'm sure John Harkes did not hurt his chances at all about playing for the U.S. national team, because I'm sure BORA MILUTINOVIC was very impressed with his play in tonight's game. There's Tony Meola and teammate John Harkes.
The Kearney connection right there as we visited them at halftime. And Meola robbed Harkes, and Harkes missed once as he had two good opportunities here tonight. Meola with the congratulations to David Hurst. And we step out right now for a timeout. 2-0 your final score. We pause in Quinn, who roofed one by goalkeeper Chris Turner, and the United States won here tonight by a score.